You know what sound that is, folks. You betcha. That's another Noon Whistle. I'm Chris Stradier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and we're here with Chad from Pastries by Chad, 29 North Wisconsin Street in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And we're excited to get going and talk about Chad and his journey and how he ended up in Elkhorn. And we have this great place on North Wisconsin Street where you can get all the goodies you want.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, throw your New Year's resolutions out the window for a little bit and go down to Chad's when you're done here.
So, Chad, tell us about how we started. We have so many great conversations before the show starts.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, and I think John and I were both like, really? So you grew up in San Francisco.
Yes.
So tell us about growing up in San Francisco. How did you end up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, so kind of like, people who are from Chicago. I'm not really from San Francisco. I'm from a suburb of San Francisco.
Got it.
So I grew up about 45 minutes south of San Francisco in a town called Santa Clara. Rewind a little bit.
So the University of Santa Clara.
Santa Clara University.
That's right. Yeah.
Right
Do you know their nickname?
Did you really?
The Broncos?
I don't know.
I don't know their nickname.
Steve Nash played there. That's all
they
I
did.
know.
Steve Nash played there.
They beat Arizona.
And I'm a big Denver Broncos fan.
Are you really?
So kinda,
okay.
Well, so I actually initially I was born in Colorado.
Oh.
Moved right outside San Francisco when I was about 5.
Okay.
So my mom's from Colorado, my dad's from California.
Okay, got it.
And then went, grade school, middle school, high school, and then decided to go to culinary school in Denver after high school.
Got it. Okay, what's the name of that
So it's
institution?
called Johnson & Wells University.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you knew you had a love for chef, pastry, all things, or was it, I want to be a chef, and then shifted into the pastries?
No, so it kind of, I was really into sports growing up, the camaraderie, basketball, big basketball player.
There you go.
Baseball, love baseball. I love sports. So I love music, I love art, and I loved sports growing up, right? So this is like middle school is all sports, and then high school is kind of art, music, sports.
Did you have a favorite band?
Oh gosh, favorite band in high school?
Yeah.
I got a fun fact. My across the street neighbors in California was Good Charlotte growing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Benji and Joel Madden. So once all the kids kind of found out they lived there, they only lived there for about 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of went backwards, right? So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I got a job as a barista at Starbucks when I was 14 in California. And then it wasn't until I was probably 16, 17, where I started experimenting with cooking. And then it wasn't until I would say I got a job in a kitchen, 18, where I was like, I want to be that guy, which was a chef, right?
That's cool.
So yeah, kind of from that age, 18, I didn't know the path, right?
Got it. Yeah.
I was your standard kid in high school. I went to school, played sports, got decent grades, but I definitely wanted to be anywhere else but school.
Got it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of did it backwards. So I quickly, realized I wasn't going to be a musician. I wasn't going to be an artist. I wasn't going to be a professional athlete. So how can I incorporate all this stuff? I started cooking, and then I realized I could listen to music. The art, my medium could be the plate.
Got it.
And then I could still listen to sports too while I'm
cool.
cooking.
Cool. And so you finish school. What's the next step after finishing school in Colorado?
Yeah. So next step. So Johnson & Wells at that time, so this was 2007, very small, close-knit culinary community. Denver hasn't had that big boom yet that they got in 2014 yet.
Okay.
So they pump you into the system out of school. So I was, running a restaurant by the time I was 22.
Wow.
Met my wife at a corporate restaurant. So I was working for Western Union at their corporate office.
Okay.
Met my wife out there. She's from Chicago. We started dating and then ended up moving back out here to Chicago in 2014. And then had our first kid in 2016 and kind of made our way out this way. I was the executive chef at the Geneva Inn from 2018 to 2021. And then, so we're living in Lake Geneva from 18 to 21, moved out to Delavan, bought a house, and then, left the restaurant industry and decided to start this baking company.
So your first pastry shop was in Delavan, correct? Or no?
Well, no, this is the first commercial building that I bought. So what I did when I first opened my company, I was renting commercial kitchen space from restaurants.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I first started. So basically, you know, you can rent X amount of hours, you know, per day. So you basically go in your off hours, you get everything baked up, ready to go. And you're basically opposite schedules of the restaurant you're working from.
Got it. Are those unique hours?
They can be. Yeah, absolutely. Like I wouldn't say, I would say they're more unique now though.
Okay, so when you're baking the stuff, you're creating it, how are you selling it? I mean, is all this contracted? Like, hey, Chad, I need 42X, or is it like you're making the stuff and taking it to the street, or both?
So I would say both, and this is, I would say, the most difficult balance of the pastry shop is, so yeah, we have data from this past year. We've been in business at this location a little over a year, so we have the data to run for like pars, right?
Sure.
So we can be within, you know, 5 donuts, you know, and that works 90% of the time. You know, there's some days where you follow your pars, you make 100 donuts and you sell 10, you throw away 90, right? I think
the office staff here would
love it.
Yeah, I had it in the jail.
So what brought you?
No, you answered the question. That was good.
I did good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. No, it happens.
Kind of that full circle of those travels where you end up in Chicago and end up here. What brought you up here?
Up here,
Yeah. Even in
Wisconsin.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So I grew up in you know, California, big city. I grew up. Denver was getting to be a big city.
Okay.
Chicago's a big city.
Yeah.
I never lived in a small town, and when I first came out here to visit my wife, she grew up in Woodstock, Illinois.
Oh,
so
pretty
close.
small
town. So close enough. Yeah.
Close enough, right?
Yeah.
So I told her, I'm like, you'll never get me to move out here. A year later, I'm moving out here.
Right. Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
It probably was in your contract
Exactly.
when you got married. Right? Yeah. Fine print.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, no,
And you loved it.
I love it. I don't think I would ever leave. There's a sense, you cannot find a sense of community, camaraderie. I can't, living in a big city, I can't go to the grocery store and, you know 10 people. Hey, how's it going? I can't go to the gas station, you know.
Yep.
I love the connection. You know, I truly believe that we're stronger together. So I love being able to, you know, build these connections and just have this sense of we all belong, right?
Yeah.
We're all part of this bigger picture.
So this is your first business you've owned,
Correct.
and you've been open a little bit more than a year,
Yep.
and you got great stuff in there. So if people want to go there, like, go there, because it's great stuff.
So what is this stuff though?
What stuff can we
Yeah,
find?
there you go.
I don't want to spoil or steal your fire.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. So a bunch of stuff. You know, we have donuts. So within that donuts, we do long johns, we do raised yeasted rings, we do cake donuts, we do apple fritters, we do like cinnamon twist. I have a confession. I made my first Kringle today.
Oh,
My first Kringle.
My grandmother is from Racine.
Really?
She used to make homemade Kringle farm, kind of hobby farm.
Yeah.
All the fresh fruit, and then she would use fresh lard
Really?
in there and fresh butter, like literally from like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that
Kringle's
is
good.
So what a lot of people
real good.
don't realize is, okay, making pastries back in the day, you would use a lot of animal fats.
Okay.
You know, lards, tallows.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of that really good deep flavor comes from, and that you can't get using, you can get it using butter, but it's not the same as using like a beef tallow or, you know, a margarine.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have to, not only does the genetic makeup different for each 3 of those fats, you're going to get a different end product,
Okay.
you know, for each 3 applications. But I would say first choice is going to be like some sort of tallow for flavor, and it's not going to taste savory.
And what's a tallow?
So a tallow is basically just like beef fat.
Okay. got
Beef fat that's cooked down into a liquid and re-solidified.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So think about when you cook ground beef, all that liquid.
Yeah, yeah.
You pour it off, and it solidifies into a fat.
Got it.
You can use that, for a ton of different things. And that's really at the core of cooking and baking. That's really what all this comes from.
Yeah.
Is how can we extend shelf life by taking things that are going bad and changing their genetics into something that we can turn into this, right?
So you made your first Kringle.
Yeah. I made my first Kringle.
So we got donuts, we got Kringles, we got fritters.
Stuff can we find?
Cakes.
Like, hey, you're not going to believe we have this kind of stuff.
So I would say I do a lot of sweet and savory combinations because of my savory background.
Okay.
Not that I miss cooking. I really don't miss slaving away in a hot kitchen. But there's a special place in my heart for savory food.
Okay.
Sweet and savory, but combining the two, it's like magic. So to answer your question, what you can't get anywhere else, I would say, are financiers, which are like a brown butter French style muffin. So you can get those like larger cities, they kind of branch out. Mm-hmm. And maybe you can. I just haven't seen them.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to say you can't get
maybe
them.
But on this show, we're saying they're only at Chad's.
Yeah. That's right.
Correct. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, financiers are oh gosh, put me on the spot. Ham and cheese croissants are really fun because what we do is we
so you can get lunch down there if you want to do it.
You can not. I try and get as close to like a sandwich as possible because technically I can't sell sandwiches.
Yeah.
I need a different license for that.
Oh, got it.
But I try and get as close, with playing nice with everyone, right?
Got it, yeah.
So, for example, our ham and cheese croissant, I take Black Forest ham, stone ground mustard, cheddar cheese, and I roll it up in the croissant, bake it, and then I top it with a sweet pickle. So you kind of get all those components without actually ordering a sandwich.
Got it. Yeah, I get it.
Can I get a loaf of bread down there?
Oh yeah, you can get bread. We do about 7 different varieties of bread.
Fresh bread.
Fresh bread, yeah. So we do sourdough. We do a cranberry walnut. We do a honey wheat, multigrain. We do a butter crust, which is a recipe that I carried over from the previous owner.
Oh, okay.
Crust. There's a couple more breads. Can't think of what I do. Oh, marble rye. I do a marble rye.
Oh yeah, you're a Seinfeld fan?
I am. I
remember the marble rye with George.
I wish I did.
Okay, man. Oh man, yeah.
I feel like I should know that.
Yeah, it's all right. We don't want to get into the Seinfeld.
All this stuff. Like what time do you start work with all this stuff that has to happen for all this?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Like, what are your hours?
Yeah, so it depends. So like Friday, Saturday, I'll get there early. I'll get there about 1:32. And then
in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah. So like for example, today I got there at 2 because we're closed Sunday, Monday. So kind of revamping everything back up, starting fresh on Tuesday.
I got it.
It's kind of hard to, because how we operate, we're a day ahead on everything in a sense of prep, right? Sure. So for all of our croissants, our danishes, I have this fancy thing called a dough retarder, and it basically it ages the dough, develops flavor, gets it ready for the oven, right? So this dough retarder, what I can do is I can shape all of my croissants, my danishes, the day before, put them in the dough retarder. They don't proof, okay? Because there's 3 stages to
proof means rise.
Exactly. So that's the yeast rising.
Man, oh man.
And I'll tell you why I know this later.
Yeah. Well, and that's all the air. That's all the air that everyone pays for.
Yeah.
You pay a lot of money for air and pastries.
That's true.
So you start at 2, let's say. Generally, when does your day end?
There's no set time. It just
when do you sleep?
I don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I have it down to science. So I put my youngest son down 7 p.m. Right when he goes down, I go to bed. And that's sometimes, there's variance.
He's 2.
Yeah.
So
look at this. Do you know this Brittany Branton?
Brittany Branton, what was the very first thing you made at your own bakery, and did it sell? Oh God. The very first thing that I made at my own bakery, it did sell because I had about 15 years of experience. But if I would say the first thing that I ever made was god awful. I didn't start making cakes until 3 years ago.
Really?
And they were terrible. They were bad. Okay, but to answer your question in its entirety, the first thing I made at Pastries by Chad was probably donuts at this location.
All right.
Probably at this location. And they were actually terrible. So this was about 2 weeks before we opened.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I never did donuts before we got into this location. My long johns were probably about this big.
Wow.
That's a nice size.
So did you get any
size of your keyboard?
Did you get any training from
Look at this.
Greg?
From Greg?
That's the first long john, everybody.
So that's what was cool when we started the works of purchasing this building from Greg and Brenda is I was able to come in and work with Greg.
Okay.
The only problem I would say with that is Greg he was baking for so long that everything was in his head. So he had stuff written down.
Sure.
But it was very like a heaping scoop of this, a couple pinches of this. You know what I mean? So he had it ingrained in him.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I'm 35 years old. He owned the bakery longer than
You were alive. Yeah.
So I was fortunate to work with him, you know, and learn his donut recipe. The issue though with his donut recipe is that it didn't translate after he left.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm doing a heaping scoop, but it's not.
I did a pinch of that. Yeah.
So,
That's big.
Well, that's good.
exactly. So I ended up, you know, adjusting just, you know, so that I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, doing everything. So.
And you have another employee with you that helps
I do.
with the baking, right?
Burn Dog. I call him Burn Dog.
Burn Dog?
Ryan Burns.
Ryan Burns.
Ryan Burns.
He's an Elkhorn graduate, right?
He is. He's a legend, I hear.
What year did he graduate, you know?
I'm
Johnny?
thinking it was 21.
I think so too.
22.
Yeah.
Because his brother graduated last year, Caden.
Okay, yeah.
And then he's 2 years older than his brother.
That's good. He's an
There you go.
alum, so look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the roots are growing for you.
Well, hey, you know what else I heard?
And I love Ryan.
Yeah.
I heard if you stop at Pastries by Chad tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
between 8 and noon or something like that, that there's free parking.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it here.
Free parking. Look at
Come
that.
buy your donuts tomorrow morning.
Look at that.
In fact,
But you can only
free
park
parking
there for 2 hours at a time.
rest of
That's
the
right.
week.
That's right. All right. Well, Chad,
Skip that.
this was great. We want to keep you're busy.
No, I thought we were going to talk forever. Come on.
Yeah, no, we could. I think
I'm just messing with
I
you
think
guys.
you could, and I think we could. We love it. I think, folks, if get out there, you're looking for pastries, head down to Pastries by Chad. He came all the way from San Francisco to provide great desserts and treats for you.
And I thought about walking here, but I drove.
That was
Well,
good.
I did want to say,
And he did
too-
call me Charlie, so that's okay.
I know I did call him Charlie. I'm sorry.
Well, at least it wasn't Chuck. So
Well, so before we had our separate ways, I did want to tell you guys too. So we're gonna start doing classes.
well, that's what we're just going to ask.
Wow.
Tell us about what's on the forefront. Look at that.
So
Space to do your classes?
Well,
Or you're
so-
gonna do them at the shop?
so we're teaming up with Spark Creative Studio,
Yeah, nice.
which her daughter actually works for us too.
Okay.
So she's a little entrepreneur. She's 14. She owns her own business, whatever. So super nice girl, sweetheart. Okay, so we teamed up with Spark Creative Studio.
Yeah.
So this is, I want to say it's February 9th is our first class. So it's going to be a cupcake making class. So basically it's for children and a chaperone. Kids, I think it's 5 to 10 is the ages, or 5 to 12. So you come in and then I teach you how to decorate cupcakes. I'm drawing a blank on the theme. I think it's Cupid's Winter Wonderland.
There you go.
I think that's the thing. So it'll be at Spark Creative Studio.
And where's that at?
So that is about 3 doors down from us.
Yeah.
So,
How can people find and register?
Yep. So you can go on our website,
Which is right up there, right on the banner below. You'll see it. Wait.
There it is.
Patience is power,
Hey,
people.
there it is.
And boom.
What a great idea.
Love it.
Yeah. So we launched that class yesterday. We got great response. So we're gonna start branching out and doing, classes for adults. And You know, really the ceiling for these classes, I was just talking to my wife this morning, you know, we still have a joker up my sleeve because people don't know that I was a chef for a long time and that I'm debatably a better chef than I am a baker.
But we found out that's not the truth. Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay, well, hey, Pastries by Chad. The time flew, didn't it?
It did fly.
What do you think about that?
It's been good.
Well, I think I like this new environment. We used to do this separate, and now we're trying to bring it together and kind of create that more collaborative. And I really like it. You did a great job. Will you come back?
I might.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. You're good.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
Yeah, come back and we'll have a little tasting.
I know.
Well,
when I was telling you guys about the Kringle,
that's all right.
That's all right. All right.
So I'll bring the next one.
Okay, but before we go, we always like to do something a little fun at the end. So here's what we're gonna do. It's what is it? January? What is it? The 7th. Okay, we're gonna go around the room. New Year's resolutions. You ready? Go.
Oh man, New Year's resolution. Oh gosh. It's such a lame one. I just want to be better. All aspects of my life.
I love it.
I want to be more patient. I want to, be more focused. I want to be
have appropriate size long johns.
Appropriate size long johns.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, no, I just want to do better.
Good, John. What do you got?
Be more grateful. Just be grateful for things, and smooth.
Smooth. Yeah. You know what mine is?
What is yours?
Just let them. Just not worry about everything and just focus on being the best version of myself.
I like that.
Me too. All right. That's another Noon Whistle. It's about that time. Chad, thanks for joining us. Pastries by Chad. You got the website. We got everything. Folks, tune in next week. We got another exciting Noon Whistle coming to you on Tuesday. By the way, are we approaching show 150?
I think we're there that next week.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. Chad, thanks again. Head down to Pastries by Chad. And on that note,